Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be comparing DALLE-3 outputs with Leonardo outputs. I thought of a crazy idea. When I was looking at some DALLE-3 outputs, I said, what if we take the prompts that DALLE-3 was used to make these images and put them into Leonardo and compare the outcomes? So let's go ahead and give this a shot. Let's see which one's better, which one's worse, and let's see how things break down, all right? So let's go ahead and start. So I have this image here. This is on DALLE-3. By the way, DALLE-3 is in the process of coming out currently. People do have access to it. You have to be like on a certain list. There are even softwares that are currently using it on beta with the API. But let's just give it a shot. Let's see what the deal is. So it says a silhouette of grand piano overlooking a dusky sky cityscape viewed from a top floor penthouse, rendered in the bold and vivid style of a vintage travel poster. So we're going to take this here, and I'm just going to copy exactly what this says. And let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I copied it. Let's go here to Leonardo. Let's go ahead and hit the image generation button. And what we're going to do is we have different styles here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on a random fine-tune model. Let's go with just regular Stable Diffusion. Let's go with Stable Diffusion 2.1. And let me go ahead and clear the current prompt. Let me add the new one. And to me, this image looks like just a perfect square, like a 512 by 512. So I'll just click 512 by 512 here. And we're going to create two different variations of this image. And we're going to go ahead and generate. Now, just keep this in mind. Version 2.1 is like an older, version 1.5 is even older, but of Stable Diffusion. But here we have version 2.1. And version 2.1 is really not good. I'm just going to keep it real. It looks, in my opinion, terrible. And I would definitely give DALLE-3 the win for this. But I'm just going to give you guys, before I even say it, let's just go ahead and click on some of the other ones. Let's click on version 1.5, Stable Diffusion 1.5. We'll hit generate and see what it comes out with. Okay, and then while that's waiting to load, then we're going to go into some of the better versions of these models, these fine-tuned models. From what I understand, we can't do any fine-tuned model work with DALL-E currently. Okay, you can see here's another version of Stable. This is Stable Diffusion 1.5. It seems like Stable Diffusion, in my opinion, 1.5 was better than 2.1, but regardless. Now let's go ahead and click on Dream Shaper. All right, so Dream Shaper version 7. Now we're still using Stable Diffusion 1.5, I believe, with Dream Shaper. Yeah, we're still doing that. So all it takes is sometimes a different model to really shift things, because when you use the model, it changes the way that the images look because it's studying a different group of images. So this is where things kind of change. So boom, look at this. This is Dream Shaper V7, and we have this image and we have this image. Now, interesting. Are they similar? No, they're not similar whatsoever. This is pretty cool. If I was to use this image, I'd probably cut the top off here, and I would just keep this where it is. To be 100% honest, I would never really use a prompt like this anyway. I'm just going to keep it real. But I think it is pretty decent. And looking at this, it's okay. Definitely not my personal style. Let's go ahead and test things by turning Alchemy on. And we'll turn Alchemy on and see what that kind of does. Now, by the way, guys, whenever you turn Alchemy on, it always goes to this default of a larger width by height. And I personally always tend to forget to switch it up. So we can look at some of the images in Alchemy, and you can see that is significantly better. Significantly better. Not perfect, once again, but it's significantly better. And by the way, I want you guys to look at the output and pay attention to the output, even if you would never really use this type of art. Because I could tell you personally, I would never use this art. Never am I going to go out here and use this prompt as a prompt that I'm legitimately trying to make money off of. But now that that's kind of taken care of, I just want to try one more thing and turn prompt magic on as well. So we're looking at Alchemy and prompt magic on as well, which is version 3, which costs the most tokens. I want you to also pay attention to the cost of the tokens each output that I'm going off of. All right, so this is all using the Dream Shaper V7. All right, so I mean, you guys see the deal, and it does take longer. It does take longer, but while that's kind of loading, I do want to take a look at some of these other images. I definitely want to use this prompt, which is right here, an expressive oil painting of a basketball player dunking depicted as an explosion of a nebula. We got to take this into consideration. All right, let's go ahead and look at this. Look at that, guys. So this is with version 3 prompt magic on. And wow, that's the best in my opinion. And that's something I actually would be interested in selling. Looks very, very good to me. Totally understood the art. And yeah, it just looks better to me. Now let's go ahead and use that new prompt, okay? And this was the image. And I'm going to hit it with its best shot, all right? So I'm going to give it the same settings. Dream Shaper V7, all right, we're going to keep Prompt Magic on, we're going to keep Alchemy on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match the sizing here. So this seems a little more vertical than it does seem horizontal, so let's kind of alter that. So we'll go with, let's go with a height of 976, and let's go with a width of 648, and let's hit generate, and let's see what it comes out to. It's not going to look exactly the same because I messed up the measuring, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see what it can do for us here. And mind you, once again, I've said this before, but Prompt Magic and Alchemy together is Prompt Magic V3. I've did a video before on Prompt Magic V3, and I think the results came out really, really good. But from my personal opinion, oh wow, look at that. So different style of image for sure. Different style of image. I'll let you guys be the judge of this, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say what's better or what's worse for this specific image. I'll let you guys be the judge. What do you think? Do you think it's DALLE-3 or do you think it's a Leonardo AI? Now, keep in mind the prompt, okay? So, I mean, an expressive oil painting of a basketball player dunking depicted as an explosion of nebula. Boom. All right, so the way that it interprets the art is a little bit different. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can access some more images here. This looks like a good image. Here we have an ink sketch style illustration of a small hedgehog. Let's get rid of this. Let me zoom out here, if I can zoom out. Yep. All right, and let me just highlight all of this here and copy it and paste it here. Okay. And hit generate as well. And while this is generating, guys, I'm going to switch the fine-tuned model, and we're going to use an anime pastel dream as well. So we got this first generation going on with the Dream Shaper, then we're going to hit anime pastel. So I know it's kind of an unfair comparison because DALL-E doesn't really have those models that we can use. But, you know, Stable Diffusion does. So let's see what it comes out with. So this is the Dream Shaper, okay? So pretty interesting. This is Dream Shaper. You're looking at a hedgehog eating a watermelon, and same thing here. I think this one is better than this one. You guys let me know on that. But is it better than this? That's the question. Is it better than this? I don't know. You let me know. Now, keep in mind, this is newer technology that's supposed to come out soon. So it's supposed to be new. Let's see this one. This is the anime model. So see how different models can switch things up, right? Look at that. That, to me, that one's a little bit better. But you see, look at that. Look how it looks like it was drawn. Now, the question for you guys who are listening is, what do you think is genuinely better? Do you think this piece of art is better? Or do you think this piece of art is better? And from the perspective of the actual art, what do you think? Do you think that which AI performed better understanding the prompt? What do you think? All right. Stable Diffusion, the thing I like about it is there's so much different settings that you can use so that if you could truly understand how the software works, then you can really have an easier time coming out with certain art. Let's test this. This is crazy. A stylized portrait oriented kind of theme. Let's go ahead and copy up to here, and let's set that here. And for the sake of this, let me go ahead and match the sizing. So this is definitely more vertical than it is horizontal. I'll just kind of make it a little stronger in the width, and we'll hit generate and see what it comes out with. And we're on Anime Pastel Dream. I should actually change that, but let's go to Dream Shaper again. You know, we'll give everybody a shot. Take a look at Dream Shaper, hit generate, and then we'll actually also do Leonardo Diffusion as well. So there you go. We're gonna do 3 different creations here, but I think overall they're all good. I mean, you know, it's hard to say that Leonardo AI is not as good as DALL-E. Like I said, I've seen some videos out there before of people saying that DALLE-3 is going to take over. I don't know if that's really the case because, I mean, just look at this. This is insane. Look at this kind of art right here. You're telling me that DALLE-3 this is better than this? I don't think so. That's just my personal opinion. That was with Anime Pastel, by the way. Okay, this is with Dream Shaper. Dream Shaper, in my opinion, didn't look as good as Anime Pastel, but it still looks good. Okay, this looks pretty good. This actually looks better than this one, to be honest. I prefer this one over this one. I mean, you guys let me know what you think. And then we have one more, Leonardo Diffusion, coming in last. Let's see how strong it is. I'm going to make an extension to this video at the end. I'm going to have like a portion where I'm comparing and contrasting, kind of analyzing. I really like this one. This one is good. This needs some editing. If you guys don't know how to edit certain AI photos, I know how to do it. I shared it in videos. I'll leave a link in the description if you do want to see that, how I edit certain designs. But all these designs are really good. They're not perfect, but they're really good. And you can kind of get fancy with it. You can switch certain settings up, certain things. But for the for the tiger pictures, I got to give it to Leonardo. I mean, you guys let me know what you think. I got to give it to Leonardo. Let's see. Let's try something else here. Let me try this one. This monster illustrator. All right, let's try this. So copy it here. Okay. It's so hard to copy because the background is black, so I don't know what's being highlighted and what's not. But we'll give it a shot. All right. So I'm going to paste this here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is let's go for Anime Pastel once again. And let's make this, because of the way that this is definitely more horizontal than it is vertical. We're going to go increase the width here, or let's keep it there, and then decrease that height. And we'll keep the height right about there. So that's about the same shape. Okay, that's about the same shape. And let's see what we got. But it says illustration in a flat style of a diverse family of monsters. The group includes a furry brown monster, a sleek black monster with antennas, a spotted green monster, a tiny polka-dotted monster, all interacting in a playful environment. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I gotta give the win to Leonardo. Look at this. Much more detail here. Once again, it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. You do have to edit some stuff. Like, for example, if I was editing this piece of art right here, I would edit this piece out. I would erase this. I would erase these parts of the, that's what I would do, okay? Immediately, I don't see some crazy errors, but that's what I would go for. And I think overall, though, to be 100% honest, guys, I think the processing or the intellectual processing makes the difference, right? So the neural language models that DALL-E is using is built off of GPT. And so GPT is really, really, really good at understanding user intent, right? Because you can communicate with GPT. We don't have necessarily, well, actually, that's not exactly true. Stable Diffusion does have a GPT version, its own kind of thing. I forgot what it's called, but they do have one. But I don't think it works the same way. And we could see that because the differences in the art are pretty significant. I mean, they're not, they're pretty significant differences. Let's try one more. What do you guys want to see? I mean, let me see here. Let me think. If I was one of you guys, what would you want to see? Maybe this one. All right, let's try this one. All right, a vintage poster. I think posters relate to us. We're in the print-on-demand space, so let's give it a shot here. All right, let's go ahead and paste this, and let's obviously change the sizing again. Let's go down with the width and increase the height, and let's hit generate. Let's see what comes out of it. And I'm curious let's get a good look at this here. If I could zoom in, I'd love to zoom in here. Yeah, there we go. Explore Venus. This is like planet Venus. This is almost like to me, it looks like a postcard, like, I've been to Venus kind of thing. But let's see here. Not safe for work. I doubt it. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually really good. And what's crazy? The spelling. It matched. The spelling matched. There's some errors here, but hey, it works. It works, I gotta say. What do you guys think? You think this one is better? This is DALL-E. This is Leonardo. I think Leonardo wins. I'm just gonna keep it real. Now, obviously, of course, you do have to pay more for the in terms of tokens. It generates more, it uses more tokens, but I think it's just generally better art. I'm just gonna keep it real. And me personally, I'm a big believer in trying my best to create the best product. Just because, like, if somebody said, okay, hey, you have two options. You can go with the free and create stuff like this, or you can go with the paid and create stuff like this. I'm going with the paid. I'm not even going to take the free. Sometimes the free, to me, is hustling backwards. I mean, if I'm going to have to sit here for hours and work every day, I want to give myself the best chance to be successful on a print-on-demand space, on my own website, etc. And I want people, when they're seeing my art, to almost jump out of their seats. I want them to buy it right away. I don't want them to have to think about what to buy. And that's really kind of, for me, the difference between the mentality of, free versus paid. I always want the better thing. And me personally, I don't think DALL-E is better than Leonardo. DALLE-3, at least. Maybe they're going to improve something. I don't know. But I don't think it is. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and cue the second part of this video right now that I actually recorded before this, where I was looking at DALL-E for the first time and really thinking if it's the next big thing. So let's go ahead and cue that part of the video. Is Stable Diffusion version 3 going to be the next big thing? I think I know what the answer is, but I'm just going to go ahead and share it with you guys. Guys, yesterday I made a video on Ideogram, which is this exact software that you're seeing here, and it has the ability to input text, typography, written content within an actual image production. And currently, we see that Stable Diffusion, or the basic kind of Stable Diffusion, is struggling with that. It might create some letters, but the letters don't make sense. They're not phonetical, things like that. And we see that the Stable Diffusion doesn't actually have a current understanding of the letters. Maybe there's a system out there that I'm unaware of to make sure that Stable Diffusion can actually write certain text. But at the same time, Stable Diffusion is the only open API image generating software that I know of currently. And that might indicate to me that Ideogram is using something other than Stable Diffusion. That could be 100% possible. With that being said, DALLE-3 was announced that it's going to release very soon. It's been getting some traction. It's been getting some heat. A lot of people have been talking about it. And I actually mentioned it in yesterday's video when I mentioned Ideogram. And I kind of, in yesterday's video, although I did show how to improve and how to fix the designs and all the things like that, the AI, from what I could see, still needs some improvement. This is a print-on-demand channel. I do teach you guys how to create some art here and there. And, one of the great tools that we've been using is AI to create images. Now, with that being said, I wanted to go ahead and do a review of what DALLE-3 is going to bring to the table here. And I actually want to bring my point of view, which is not going to be the same as everybody else's, unfortunately. I've seen a lot of videos where people are saying DALLE-3 is going to be the next biggest thing. It's going to be bigger than Midjourney, bigger than Redbubble, not Redbubble. See, my mind's always on Redbubble. Bigger than Stable Diffusion, and of course, you guys know Leonardo AI uses Stable Diffusion. So there's a lot of different things going on here, but I'm just going to keep it real with you guys. In my opinion, after doing the research and seeing really what is going down, I don't think it's going to be the next big thing. I think maybe DALLE-5, by the time DALLE-5 comes out, then it'll be the next big thing. But that's only if Stable Diffusion doesn't yet implement the fact that it can have written topography, in the videos, not the videos, the images. Right now it's a race. We're looking at a race between Stable Diffusion and Midjourney at the top. But both of them, or I don't want to speak for Midjourney too much, but I know for the AI with Stable Diffusion, the technology to write the written text within the image is not all there. Now, with that being said, DALLE-3 is built off of GPT. Now, that's actually pretty interesting because GPT, as a neural network, can understand certain things, right? Or can understand very, very well. And I wanted to use this image as an example. I actually showcased this image, I believe, in one of my past videos. I think it was this one, where I kind of showed you guys how to connect GPT, not kind of, but I did, how to connect GPT to DALL-E and then have it automatically upload designs to Printify, which is okay, and I think it's going to get better into the future. But I wanted to show this because, remember, the DALL-E is built off of GPT. So its source of understanding when you prompt it is the same way that GPT is prompted. And look at this. So this is a prompt. It says an illustration of an avocado sitting in a therapist's chair saying, "I feel so empty inside with a pit-sized hole in its center." The therapist, a spoon, scribbles notes. The accuracy to which this is done at is very at a very high level. Okay, I can't take that away from the software. And when I say the accuracy, it's almost as if the prompt was understood for the nature or the essence of the design. And what I mean by that is when you have a therapist and the therapist is a spoon and the core is taken out of the avocado, what does that signal to you? Right? That's like some like next level type stuff in terms of intellectual processing. Right? It's intellectually processing that the therapist is the spoon scooping out the core of the actual avocado, almost like there's a hidden message here, and the AI kind of understood it and created the design off of it. That's kind of insane, right? That's like some next level type stuff. But with that being said, even though the art is very or put it this way, from my understanding, the AI machine, DALL-E, really, really understood the nature of the design and the intellectual meaning behind it. What I don't see is a higher quality of art that really blows me away. All right. So, for example, you have a picture here, and this is what really helped me come to this conclusion. You have this picture here, right, guys? And there's a lot of components to the prompt, like you could see here. These are the tall, grumpy vendor, sophisticated man, whatever. And yeah, it does look like that from the outside. But if you really start looking in on the details, it's not that clear. And it doesn't look that attractive. I'll just be 100% honest. Like you could see the side of the face here of the young lady here. Her eyes are not done properly, right? The hands don't look done properly. Even like this vendor person, I mean, what are those, potatoes or something? Or is this steak? I don't know. It's not drawn properly, right? This telephone here, you can't really see some of the details properly. I don't know what this here is on the right. I'm not degrading the software. I think the software is really, really good. And the intellectual, like I said, understanding capability is at an all-time high, higher than Midjourney, higher than Stable Diffusion, beyond belief. And I don't think Midjourney and Stable Diffusion will be able to keep up from that standpoint. But from the actual art standpoint, from the creativity in terms of the drawing, the high quality art that you would want to see, it's not there. And that's just my opinion. I mean, you could look at the face. If I try to zoom in here, let me try to zoom in for you guys. And I don't know if this can make a difference, but let me see. Okay, there we go. So if we look at some of the art on the faces here, I mean, look at that. That's not a face. I don't know what that is. That's not a hand. That's not a face. Okay, this is not a face. There's a lot of this is not a face. A lot of these smaller details that are missing. So from an artistic standpoint, the art is not as good as it can be. And of course, and unfortunately, that's going to show from a print-on-demand standpoint. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy. I'm not trying to be a party pooper here. I'm not trying to bring things down. but I do see that from a print-on-demand standpoint, when we want to create better art, it's just not going to be the way for better success. I still think it's too early to fully use these type of styles for a print-on-demand standpoint, and this is my opinion. Or at least to be comfortable doing it for, making money, monetizing, like paying for ads based on this quality, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There's other things that look really good, but like I said, it's just missing a little bit. It's just missing a little bit. Like I look at something like this, and it looks amazing, but there are these small, finer details that really bring out the effect on the art. And I think, like I said, this image is what really shows that. Now, in terms of improvement, did they improve? They improved drastically. I mean, you look at the difference between this image, which was DALL-E 2, and this image, which was DALL-E 3, and you could see the huge difference. Now, something that I will say is right before DALL-E 2 came out, guys, I would see this image, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on DALL-E 2, right? I couldn't wait. I felt like DALL-E 2 was going to be, just the next biggest thing ever. And I was on DALL-E 2, and honestly, after a few minutes, I was kind of disappointed, I remember. And I was just doing research on different AI tools, and then I just kind of forgot about it for a few weeks, and then boom, I started paying attention to Stable Diffusion type stuff. And Stable Diffusion type stuff took a lot more market share, especially for the people who are using it for like art purposes and things like that. And that's kind of what kind of piqued my interest. So, overall, is DALL-E better? I think it's DALL-E 3. Is it better? I think it's better. But in terms of the actual quality of a specific design, I do believe that the Stable Diffusion type products, even Midjourney, is going to produce a better image type result. Am I hating on DALL-E? Absolutely not. I just don't think it's going to be the next biggest, craziest thing just yet. I think it has some time. And I think the only thing that it's missing is just a little more detail on the art. Like, if I take the image, like with this prompt, I think it, Stable Diffusion, I think it could create something much, much better even right now in terms of an art quality. So, who knows? Maybe I'll do like a comparison video or something like that. But that's currently where I'm standing on it, and that's what I personally think. You guys let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye. All right. See you soon.